AMC stock closed up about 15%, and wow, today was a much needed day. Is this the start of the Moass, or at least another big rally? That's what I want to talk about in this video, exactly why AMC is rallying and exactly what I plan to do with my position. So let's not waste any of your time. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and leave your questions, comments, or concerns down below in the comment section. Also, make sure to get your free stocks, links down below in the description for Weeble, Mumu, and Public. And if you guys want to come trade with us, link down below in the pinned comment. Baby, this is wonderful. AMC is now at $18.08 per share to close out regular trading, up $2.22, up 14% flat. We're up another 1.22% here in after hours, and this is a really good move. It looks like tomorrow we're really going to be testing some key levels. We'll talk about that once we get into the technical analysis, but exactly what is going on today? Well, according to Benzinga, it says AMC's average session volume over the trailing 100 trading sessions is 43.925 million, according to data from Benzinga Pro. Volume for Tuesday's trading session has reached 38.7 million at publication time. AMC is also trending across social media platforms and is the top trending ticker on StockTwits. AMC may also be experiencing a short squeeze. AMC has a total share float of 515 million, of which 101.33 million shares are sold short, representing 19.68% of shares sold short. This is obviously Benzinga's opinion here, and I kind of want to go over why it does not look like shorts are covering, but that's exactly what you should want to hear. You don't want to hear a bunch of shorts cover today and we only went up 15%, right? After all, the stock is going to hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, and I kind of want to give you guys the reasoning why the shorts are not covering today. What's going on? So let's get into some of the other news first. And, this was from Adam Aaron 13 hours ago. So amusing. Narrow-minded call our Hycroft investment stupid, idiotic. AMC so understands how to raise cash and stretch out debt. Eric Sprott understands gold and silver. Add in a very low price for our shares / warrants. Tons of crow eating ahead. And it won't be by me. Hashtag haha. So, like I've went over many times, this was definitely a good buy for AMC stock. To put it into context, people were saying, hey, AMC should have spent that $27 million paying off a 10% interest rate coupon. They would save $2.7 million a year. But if 27 million can turn into hundreds of millions, you're going to be looking at like 30 years to make that make sense to pay off the bond coupon. And that would only be if Hycroft Mining went to a $500-600 million market cap. Considering they have $45 billion of precious metals in the ground, it's probably a good idea. Now, you can also see that you're seeing a lot of actual fundamental good news that is coming out as well. If we do take a look at this actual headline, AMC's ticket experiment for the Batman seems to have worked. And that came out today at 11:19 a.m. If we take a look at that, AMC has the highest prices of its competitors. But look at this. This chart right here. So, you can see this is compared to the 2019 Batman movie from obviously 2019, and the blue is the 2020, right? So you could see 17.6% for 2019 and then 51.2% for this movie now. And it's AMC's guests during the Batman's opening weekend. So their guest numbers are going through the roof, and that is definitely a good sign. Look, even more recent, right? 24% comparatively to 2019, and then 2022 was 68.4%. So a lot more guests are going to the movies, and especially for AMC, right? But they're also getting that higher premium for the tickets, with the average opening weekend price at $13.66. For Batman, it was $14.50 cents per ticket. And when you're talking about millions of guests, that starts to add up quick, and that is going to help AMC's actual fundamental business here. So I think a lot of people are excited about that. But what is really going on here, if you guys take a look at this, I just pulled this up like maybe half an hour ago. There's 1,700 new AMC posts. This is not shorts covering. This is a lot of retail enthusiasm. And like I've said many times in the past, that essentially with a stock like AMC, the momentum can die down, but it'll always come back when there is a reason for it to come back. So it doesn't look like shorts are covering. If you actually look at the volume here, the volume for the whole day was only 74.5 million. That is not a very large amount relative to what we have seen in the past for AMC stock. If you just look at the candle there, it's very small. So to sit here and say shorts are covering, I don't see any evidence of that, as well as on the Ortex data as well. Borrowed shares, return shares, pretty flat on the day. It's a lot of people likely that sold out of AMC stock in the past that are now buying back into the stock. And it does say about 61,000 shares were covered today, which that's a drop in the bucket compared to 108.02 million. So take that for what it is. That could be the right number. Again, it's hard to know on a day-to-day basis, but from everything that I am looking at, it just looks like a lot of bullish sentiment from retail investors. You started to see Mullen as well start to rally here today, and a lot of retail stocks were actually taking off, right? Just out of nowhere, a lot of stocks started taking off. GameStop was up big as well. You're really seeing that push for retail investors to start crowding into stocks again. And this momentum could last a while. Look at Mullen. It's had a lot of momentum for quite a while now, right? Really the first week of March, it started to get this attention, and it was really in the last week or so that the stock started to go crazy. So if you're looking at the retail sentiment and comparing it to something like Mullen compared to AMC, yes, there is a lot of differences there. I would argue AMC is a much better potential momentum trade in that aspect. They have a better fundamental business. But there's a lot more attention around AMC relative to even something like Mullen. Everybody knows AMC. AMC was searched more than the word stimulus check in 2022. I think that does show a lot. Now, something else that is also interesting today, you are seeing the markets up quite substantially, about 2% on the NASDAQ, 1.12% on the Russell 2000. But you are also seeing the federal funds rate, well, the projected federal funds rate for that May meeting going up again. So the 0.5% probability, 0.5% rate hike probability is going up again. Now it's at 63.9%. So it looks like investors are getting a little bit more comfortable with the odds of seeing that 0.5% rate hike, or the markets are not fully factoring in what the federal funds rate projection is pricing in. So either way, I mean, it's a good sign. It's definitely a good sign. And the fact you're seeing retail flow back into a lot of these retail stocks kind of around the time where we, seen the retail rallies of last year, it could be a reminiscent sign of what is to come. So again, congratulations to everybody that has been hitting all of these trades. But there really was a lack of news across the board today that would make any kind of significant change, right? There wasn't really any huge good news headlines. There wasn't any bad news headlines. There was just not a lot of big headlines in general. There was some Fed speakers today that were hawkish sounding, but it isn't anything new. And I'll tell you guys right now that if there is nothing new for a day, especially after you've seen a lot of fear or even greed for that matter, there's nothing new for the markets to react to, and they won't really react to anything. If there's not anything to react to, they're not going to change their sentiment, and that's exactly what it looks like right here and right now. But keep in mind, we are still in a bear market rally. These can last days or weeks, but eventually they will end. And usually how these bear market rallies end, when you see a lot of retail flowing into a lot of retail stocks, it usually ends with short squeezes, because the hedge funds, they have no choice but to cover on those short positions, especially when they start to get squeezed out of them. It can get bloody for the hedge funds very quickly. As far as the max pain for this Friday, that is $15.50 per share for AMC stock. And also keep in mind, we have more Fed speakers pretty much every single day, and a lot of the headlines are going to revolve around the Fed speakers, as well as Russia and Ukraine. Those are going to be the keys to pay attention to. Now, as far as the Ortex data, the other things you guys need to know, 20.96% short interest of free float, 108.02 million shares that are sold short, cost to borrow max of 3.54%, utilization of 100%, and days to cover of 3. So it's definitely looking very good on that aspect. You have a lot of fuel on the fire to potentially see a major short squeeze here. Don't know if that's exactly going to happen, but I do want to go over kind of my thought process here. So we do have a while until that next Fed meeting. Really, May 4th. That's quite a bit of a distance away. That's the whole month of April. April tends to be a very bullish month for the stock market if we don't see any more bad news, and it looks like a lot of the bad news is already priced in, unless Russia uses some kind of tactical nuke or a chemical weapon. That would definitely clap the markets. Or if COVID in China gets worse, not seeing any headlines about that, so we're just gonna put that in the back burner for right now. But that is a big bearish catalyst that could come up pretty much any day now. Now, a potential bullish catalyst would be if Russia-Ukraine does end this fighting. And I think that would cause short squeezes across the board. And that is nothing to, sneeze at there, for lack of a better word. It would be pretty crazy. Watch this 0.5% rate hike probability. I don't know if the markets, like I said, are pricing that in yet or not. Or if it's kind of a lagging or a leading indicator of some more pain to come. But as far as my personal stance on AMC has a lot of room to run, especially if retail comes back into the stock and we start to see a lot more volume in the stock. 74.5 million shares trading hands is not a lot. And there's definitely a lot more volume that can and likely will come into the stock. And you guys can see just the major rally you're getting today with relatively low historical volume for AMC stock. So imagine when you start to see hundreds of millions of shares trading hands, it's going to get pretty crazy pretty quickly. Now for tomorrow, I want to see us go above 1850 and remain above 1850. We are almost approaching these levels here in after hours. So if we can close after hours above 1850, that's going to be a really good sign. If we do get a lot of bullish momentum for tomorrow as well, we could break out straight past $21 per share. Nothing would really surprise me at this current moment. But if you do start to see that major rally, which granted we broke above the 50-day moving average at $17.26, fairly easy today, you could head back to that $25 range, no problems at all. And that's where your 100-day moving average is at $25.12 per share. So if you see another bullish day tomorrow and you see another equivalent size green candle, that's going to put us in that $22 range, and then we should be clear to head back to that $25 level. We just straight crushed the 50-day moving average, just straight through it. So that is a huge sign for me. And when it comes to retail traders, I'm not going to bet against the retail traders. I'm also not going to YOLO all of my money on weekly call options. But again, anything is possible when you're talking about a massive group of traders that are hungry for tendies. Now, as far as the RSI is concerned, that's at 56.82. You definitely have a lot more room potentially to the upside to go before we start to get in that overbought territory, and you would see some pressure on the stock. So you got at least another day or two before that would happen of a significant price action move to the upside. The MACD is bullish, and you're starting to see this gap really widening here. So watch that. That's typically a good time to buy when you see that crossover right there, and that was 2 trading days ago. These crossovers can last a while, and you could see this bullish sentiment last for quite a long time. So that is pretty much gonna be all for this video. Not too much else to actually add. There's not definitives here to why AMC is actually rallying. It looks like just a lot of retail sentiment that is coming into the stock. As far as is this the Moass, I personally would be very hesitant to make that claim. I think the credit situation, yes, there's less money out there to service margin calls, but there is still a decent amount of money. We need to see the federal rate hikes, the Fed rate hikes continue throughout the year, and you do need to see the credit crisis worsen around the world, in Europe, Russia, China, everywhere that is already feeling a crisis, but it's not quite to that pivotal moment where you're starting to see a lot of capital being restricted, as well as in our markets. Once you start to see fundamentals going down upon these earnings calls that are going to start here in April, that's when I think you will see the credit crisis getting a lot worse and investors really starting to freak out, because it's not about margin calls. It's about, do the hedge funds have enough money to service those margin calls, because that turns a margin call into a forced share liquidation, and that's what we need to see that automatic short covering. But it could be really good. Take advantage of it by all means if you guys want to. I personally plan to. If we do see some more bullish momentum tomorrow, this can make for really good day trading opportunities. So that is going to be all for this video. That is all you guys need to know. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below. Get yourself those free stocks. Links down below in the description, as well as come join the trading community down below in the pinned comment. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.